Hi, Zulma. It's so nice to have you on the show. How are you doing today?
I'm great. Thank you for having me.
Beautiful, beautiful. And thank you too for being here. And you see, Zulma, oftentimes I love to thank my guest for two main things. So, firstly, I want to thank you for investing in yourself. You see, Zulma, you are on this platform right now because you invested in yourself. And oftentimes I love to make reference to the amazing mango tree. You see, I was on this particular road some months back, and just by the roadside, there was this mango tree. And you see, the mango tree didn't catch my attention. Why? Because it's got no mangoes on it. And it looks all dry and not attractive at all. So I just walked past it and I went my way. But you see, Sutma, just recently I was on that same road and this time around something changed. You see, I sat at the mango tree from a distance and instantly I got the urge to, move closer and have a good look. Then, Sulma, when I got closer, man, it wowed me because this time around the mango tree's got a lot of mangoes on it. And not just mangoes, but ripe mangoes. And it looked so beautiful and attractive. Then in my mind I was saying something like, now you're talking, mango tree, now you're talking. This is it, man. This is it. Amazing, I tell you. So now the point is the fact that you dedicated your time, energy, and resources to becoming the amazing person that you are today. That alone has made it very impossible for me to skip you. You see, while I was reading a little bit about you, I was excited about the things that you're doing and your pool of knowledge and the impact your work is having. So I just couldn't say nope because it has made it really impossible to skip you. Yeah, I tell you. So I want to thank you so very much for investing in yourself. And secondly, thank you for being here. I truly appreciate it. Thank you so much, Silma. I appreciate it. Okay.
That is beautiful. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you too. So let's get started. You see, I am quite excited to have you on the show today, Silma, for some reasons. All right. Firstly, my interest in knowledge seeking. You see, I believe in order to transition from a chaotic situation to that of a beautiful one, Sulma, I believe it takes the application of knowledge, not just knowledge, but the application of it. And you see, ever since I discovered that light in the Hebrew means knowledge and darkness means ignorance, I've been so keen to knowledge seeking because I do not want to remain in the dark. So that's going to make our conversation today very important to me and even to the listeners. Now, the second reason why I'm excited to have the amazing Sulma on the show is for the sake of the listeners. You see, Sulma, we live in an age where information is as abundant as grains of sand. We've got a lot of information flying out there. So these folks trust me for quality information, and I am totally convinced that our conversation is going to be insightful and impactful. So, for that reason, Sulma, let's get started with your introduction. Talk to us about your personal or professional journey. We are just so curious right now. We want to know how you got here. Then, afterwards, I've gotten some beautiful questions for you. Okay, Sulma,
Okay,
over to you.
sounds great. So I was born and raised in Buenos Aires, Argentina. I moved to the United States at age 31. And about age 42, I was working in the accounting department of a big corporation. And I was reflecting on my future. I'm not sure I want to be doing this for another 25 years. So I enrolled in school to pursue my bachelor's of social work. Again, I was 42 at the time. I graduated at 46, and I was going to go for my master's so that I could become a therapist. And 6 weeks after graduating with my bachelor's of social work, I was diagnosed with breast cancer. So I put a pause on my education to take care of my health. At age 50, so the treatment at the beginning was very intense, but as the time went by, it kind of like slowed down a little bit. So at age 50, enrolled for my Master's of Social Work. It was an advanced program, so I did my master's in 1 year, and then I graduated. I did my internship, and at 53 and a half, I became fully licensed, which means that I can have my own practice. And that's what I've been doing since. So I love working with adults who experience trauma, anxiety, and depression. What I want to, my message is for everyone who is listening is that I had cancer, but cancer didn't have me, meaning that we all have challenges. But if we don't allow those challenges to take charge of our lives, we can still pursue our dreams. I did it. English is not my first language. I wasn't born here and I did it. So why wouldn't you do it if that is your dream?
Powerful statements. I tell you, those words are really powerful and I felt it. In other words, do not let the challenges have you. That's a deep one.
Exactly.
And you see, your story and your journey is just a proof of the statement. It is never too late to accomplish anything that you set your heart to. Look at the amazing things you got at the age, and I tell you, and you're doing just fine. And I love the part where you mentioned that you are helping adults get over anxiety and all of this stuff. And so that's gonna lead to the very first question. All right, are you ready?
Okay. Yes,
Okay,
I am.
so then yeah, beautiful. Let's say we have some folks listening right now who are struggling with grief and loss. Okay, how can they handle it, or how can they deal with grief and loss?
So, grief, in a nutshell, grief is love that has nowhere to go. When we lose loved one, or we lose a marriage, or we lose a job, or whatever it might be, that loss, the reason why we are grieving is because we have feelings for that person or that situation. If somebody dies and you don't care about that person, you're not going to be grieving. I don't care. But when someone who we love passes away or transitions, or we lose our project, whatever it might be, it's like we don't know what to do with all that love, because now, so I love you and you transition, and it's like, what do I do with this love that I have for you? You're not longer here in the physical realm. So one way of dealing with the grief and the loss is to kind of like acknowledge that love that is there. And you can do a couple of things with that love. One is to give it to yourself, right? We are at the bottom of the list when it comes to ourselves. So you can take that love and give it to yourself, and give yourself compassion and give yourself time to process this loss, number one. And also, it's like, so let's say that a loved one passed away, and you feel guilty because you didn't say I love you enough, or you didn't have enough conversations with that person, whatever it might be. Instead of asking like, why is this happening to me, change the question to, what can I learn from this situation, and then use that as a lesson. So if I didn't say I love you enough times to you, and now you're not longer here, take that as a lesson and start saying I love you to the people that I do have in my life, so that I don't have that regret when these people pass away. So if I have a job that I love, and I lost a job that I love, and now I have another job that I love, enjoy every moment of that job, right? Because it, what what's happening is that we have a tendency to forget to appreciate the things that we are currently having. So I'll take you for granted, or I'll say I love you tomorrow. And then nobody has tomorrow guaranteed. So it's like, oh my God, like I lost this person. And now I can use that and kind of like allow myself to feel the pain, but also to apply the lesson and start enjoying every moment with my loved ones while they are here.
That was a great response, and I love that. In other words, we need to,
Thank
yeah,
you.
we need to appreciate the stuff around us and be grateful for them. I got that. Okay, let us talk about anxiety for a moment. So, what is anxiety, and how can we decrease our anxiety? Can you talk to us about that?
Of course. So anxiety is trying to control the future, which is impossible because the future is not even here. I have a meeting next week. What's gonna happen? Simply because you are anxious about it is not gonna bring the meeting any time closer. So anxiety is kind of like a rocking chair. It gives you something to do, but it doesn't take you anywhere. So when you are, let's say that you have a meeting, an important meeting next week, and you are feeling anxious about it, one thing to counter the anxiety is to take action. What can I do right now in preparation for that meeting? So do more research, ask more questions, whatever it might be. So because I'm taking action, I'm literally out of my head and into the present moment because I'm doing the research. So I don't have time to feel anxious about that meeting. So when we are taking action, we are doing two things. We are coming back to the present moment, and also we are better prepared for the meeting. So we are decreasing the anxiety that we're going to feel when the meeting is happening. And another thing that we can do is to take a deep breath and immediately after when you exhale, use what is called a grounding technique. So there are different techniques. One is to describe something with your eyes. So something that is hanging on the wall or that is on a desk or whatever it might be. The more detail that you put into describing that object, the more present you are. Is you cannot be in your head thinking about the meeting next week and describing the picture on the wall. So you're sending a message to the brain. You are in charge. You are the boss. So you are sending a message to the brain that I know you're freaking out about the meeting next week, but right now we're going to describe the picture on the wall because your brain is one part of you, but you are the CEO of your body and your life. So you are the one who established the rules. Another quick technique, grounding technique, is to trace your hand. So you inhale on tracing your finger, you stop at the top, and then you exhale. Inhale, pause, exhale. So you do that, and then when you get to the end of your hand, you come back. So you inhale, pause at the top. So you are doing several things. You're still using a deep breath, and you are touching something. So it's kind of like you bring again, like you cannot be in your head about that meeting and tracing your hand. So that brings you back to the present moment. Anytime that we are in the present moment, we are again out of our head. So it's like we are in charge of the head doesn't, although sometimes we get distracted and we let the brain take over, but we are in charge. It's kind of like the brain becomes like a 2-year-old throwing a temper tantrum, but you are the parent. So it's like, okay, like I don't have time for that right now.
I got that. And you see, that's a great one, and I think I'm going to practice that. And I believe the listeners too will. That's a good one. Yeah.
And it's so easy to do, right? Because it's like nobody needs to know what you are doing. You can take that deep
Hmm.
breath and describe the picture on the wall on your head. It doesn't even have to be verbal, but like you can use that in anywhere.
That's right. Okay, so we have two more questions to go. So, how important is motivation in order to achieve success?
So this is a personal opinion and controversial. To me, motivation is overrated. And the reason why I say that is because we have done things, everybody, you, me, everybody, your listeners, everyone has done things in their lives that they were not motivated to do. especially if you have children. You have a baby, you don't tell the baby, like, no, you know what, I'm not motivated to change your diaper. You need to wait. You're gonna get up and you're gonna do it, right? Like you had to go to work. And if you even if you're not feeling well or you are tired, you still get up and you do it. So I tell my clients all the time, motivation is not necessary to achieve your goals because you have been doing stuff that you were not motivated to do your entire life. So, how important is that goal? That's where I put the focus on. So, you have to become Nike and just do it, right? So, it's like, oh, I don't feel like exercising today. Get up and do it. Because like, if you wait until you're motivated, you're going to be waiting a long time and it's not going to happen.
That's right. That's right. I got that. Wow. And you see, that's a beautiful perspective, and I've never thought about it from that angle before. Awesome. I love that. Okay, so to bring this to an end, Silva, what would you like to leave the audience with, like a final thought, and to those folks who like to reach out to you, learn more about what you're doing, and all of these things we've talked about? How can that be possible?
Okay. So, I would like to leave the audience with the thought of if you woke up this morning, that means that your mission in life is not finished. So get up, take it one day at a time. If one day is too long, take it 1 hour at a time. If 1 hour is too long, take it 15 minutes at a time. Can you push through the next 15 minutes? And then rinse and repeat. Because four of those 15 minutes make 1 hour. 24 of those makes one day. Seven of those makes it 1 week, and so on and so forth. So it's like just keep pushing through to the best of your ability, 15 minutes at a time. If your audience wants to connect with me, I have an Instagram. It's called The Swearing Therapist. And I'll keep it clean for the show, but I sweat a lot because I keep it real. So I have a lot of videos on my Instagram about anxiety and grief and depression and anger and why are we angry all the time. So they can check my videos there. And also my website, the website for my practice is dragonflytherapyservices.net. So either or will be a good way to connect with me.
And you got that. Keep pushing to the best of your ability. I got that. So that's going to be the end of the show, Selma. Thank you for coming and thank you for sharing these amazing words with us. It means a whole lot. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.